cloud, sunshine. High 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a rain shower. Low 60. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
On the left, heavy rain on the way, New York City. Right now, windy and cold. On the right, Boston, with a big football game Sunday. Right now, windy and cold. We'll take you through both forecasts right now on Weather Center Live.
Friday, we're dancing to the music of Weather Center Live. Thank you for joining us, spending a little time with us today. I'm Alexandra Steele, along with Dave Schwartz.
Good to see you. Well, you've seen snow squalls this week in places such as Albany, the Capital District.
That's right. Albany's connected in Troy.
Thanks to the Lake Effect snow machine. But later this weekend, something else will cause you to break again. Alex shows us the setup for a snowy and soggy storm in the Northeast.
Yeah,
Alex?
Well, we're more soggy than anything else. You know, once again, this is the deal. Storm after storm we've had in the Northeast has kind of taken the same route. The same moisture, the same cold air, and they're just not intermixing along the 95 corridor. So right now, 41 in Philadelphia, 46 in D.C., and you can see the direction the winds have been coming from. There certainly have been a cold wind and will continue to be so. Saturday into Sunday, here's the temperature. We're going to get all this moisture coming up from the south, and with temperatures in the 40s for you, Boston and New York and Philadelphia and Baltimore, it's going to be a rain event. Saturday you're dry, but Sunday and into Sunday night, Boston, you clear out. Everyone really clears out on Monday. With the day off for many, temperatures will be in the 40s. So here's where it's kind of emanating from. Moisture's coming up from the south. This is the timestamp on Sunday. As we head toward noon, everyone here in Wisconsin, some really heavy rain. It continues to move to the northeast. You can see barely any snow. Just a little bit here on the backside Sunday night, maybe in the hole from Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. May pick up a couple of inches of snow in northern New York, western New York, and therefore maybe the Green and White Mountains also when we end up the time frame on Monday. Here you go, 3 to 5 inches there, 1 to 3, so not a huge snowmaker by any means. So where has the snow been? We'll talk more about that coming up, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Well, since you talked about the weekend, let's check on the rest of the country in this Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. And we're heading south. We're stopping south where the civil rights movement was so strong back in the early to mid-60s. Selma, Alabama right now at 55 with sunny skies. Birmingham also in the 50s. Montgomery in the 50s. Atlanta in the 50s. Same weather tomorrow. It's going to be gorgeous. Jackson at 63. New Orleans 2 days in a row with sunshine. What a pleasure. And we'll be back in the 70s from Tampa and southward. Then here we go on Sunday. 67. You know, low pressure is going to develop right here. That northeast storm could bring some rain to us in Raleigh, 57, and a cooler north wind down into Tampa, 67. But back here in Alabama and Georgia, we're still looking good, 50s to near 60, and that will continue on Monday. So great looking weather for 95% of us here in the Deep South. People in Texas were saying hallelujah. What is that yellow ball in the sky yesterday? It was the sun. The sunny weather continues right into the weekend for you in Dallas. Down in San Antonio on the Riverwalk, what a beautiful day for that. If you walk up from downtown to the Pearl District, gorgeous. Houston, 64. Some Philippine food out there, the western suburbs, some great restaurants. Oklahoma City at 64 for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And speaking of warm weather, let's head into Phoenix. Boy, we're in the 70s now. We're going to stay right there through the weekend with a slow warm-up. San Francisco clears out tomorrow. More sunshine on Sunday. Los Angeles, too, back in the 70s. So we're looking good. Temperatures at or above average for almost the entire country. Alexandra, back to you.
All right, big weekend, Dave. The AFC and NFC championship games. Paul Goodlow's tracked the stats and shows us how the Colts and the Patriots will handle the weather for their matchups.
We got the AFC Championship game Sunday evening at 6:40 in Foxborough at Gillette Stadium. Let's take a look at the forecast here. We got the Colts, who actually beat the Denver Broncos last week in an upset, taking on the favorite and hometown New England Patriots. Look at the forecast here. Might have some snow in the morning, but for the rest of the evening, we got rain coming in. And the longer the evening lasts, the heavier the rain will be. So definitely weather is a huge factor in this game. Let's take a look at how these quarterbacks deal in the rain. And Andrew Luck, in his very short career, he's played several games in the rain. 83 is his QB rating outside. Not bad for a home team that plays indoors. He does pretty well outside in elements. Meanwhile, Tom Brady, well, not too far off of Andrew Luck, but this veteran, not too great in the rain. 73.4. In fact, if there's any condition that impacts Tom Brady the most, it is rain, and that is in our forecast. But I wouldn't say it's an overwhelming advantage, but I definitely have to give Andrew Luck and the Colts the advantage on that, a slight advantage there. Now take a look at the team stats. As you take a look at the last 2 years here, seasons, the Colts are 0-2 when playing in the rain. Meanwhile, the hometown Patriots, they are 2-0 when playing in the rain. So based on the team stats, and even the QB stats are pretty close, I think, because of the weather conditions and the forecast for the rain increasing throughout the evening in Foxborough, I'm actually picking the New England Patriots to win this game and move on to Super Bowl 49. Back to you.
Well, you don't think of tropical weather in December, right? I mean, hurricanes, tropical storms. But believe it or not, there are 3 impressive storms turning right now.
All right, so let's turn to our own storm specialist, Carl Parker, and geek out on the tropics. So tell us about the tropics.
Well, Alex, one of those storms is in the northern hemisphere. That's what's so interesting because, of course, the sun is a lot lower in the northern hemisphere at this time of the year. It gets a lot cooler. There's a lot less insolation occurring. But you've got this huge repository of warm water in the western Pacific. And so the hurricane season, the typhoon season, never ends out there. There's not a beginning and an end the way that we see in the Atlantic. It goes all year long. And right now there is a typhoon that is coming into the Philippines. It's a minimal typhoon right now, just became a typhoon within the last couple of hours, and it's the equivalent of a Category 1 hurricane. Now, this storm is coming right into the central part of the Philippines, and the core of that storm actually getting very close to Tacloban. You may remember that that is the town, one of the many towns that were devastated by Typhoon Haiyan, which was the strongest landfalling tropical cyclone in recorded world history, had winds of 195 miles per hour. It caused thousands of deaths and displaced millions of people there in the Philippines. And the heart of this storm is going to be coming very close to Tacloban. It will likely be weakening, probably a strong tropical storm at that time, and we'll get some heavy rain out of it, but I'm sure they don't need that as the recovery continues even more than a year later. And here are a couple of systems in the southern part of the Indian Ocean, and remarkable to see them rotating the other way in the southern hemisphere. One of them is Typhoon Bansi, 125 mile per hour wind, moving to the southeast at 16 miles per hour. And another one is a tropical storm coming into Madagascar with winds of 60 miles per hour. Now, this is Bansi. This is a high resolution photo that was taken on January 12th. Very well defined eye and eye wall there. Notice the high clouds all around the top of the storm. And one more thing to show you is a loop. Now, this comes from the University of Wisconsin, and I want you to notice what is called the trochoidal motion here, as the storm kind of does little loop-de-loops. And the reason why that's happening is because you get big bursts of thunderstorms on one side or another of the storm, and so it ends up pulling the storm in that direction. Those centers actually rotate about each other, and that's how you get those sort of loops. And that's why little short-term movements can be very difficult to forecast, and it's very difficult to tell exactly where a storm is going when it does that. Back to you.
I'll bet. Good thing that's right out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, coming up on Weather Center Live, turns out 2014 was the hottest on record. Yeah,
we're going to show you the numbers just released by NASA and tell you what it means for us and the planet we all live
on. Currently in our area, 67 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 57. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower. Low 60. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Why do you want to shop Walmart's new selection of stylish frames? Because you need a surprisingly low price to match that surprising new look.
Oh, sorry. My ringtone.
The new frames and new styles you want are at the Walmart Vision Center, starting at $58. Walmart.
Push it. Push it. Push it real good. Ooh, baby, baby. Baby, baby.
If you're Salt and Peppa, you tell people to push it.
Push it real good.
That's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
I'm pushing it real good.
Hi, you've reached Emma. I'm out of the office right now, but we'll get back to you just as soon as I possibly can. Your call is important to me.
Join us for exclusive Discovery at Sea experiences. Enjoy cruises from $4.99 during our 50th anniversary sale. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Every truck can tow a boat. Every truck can climb a hill. Every truck can haul a trailer. But not everyone can say they're the fastest growing truck brand in America. Guts, glory, Ram.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any income or credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-2917 now to receive a new free information kit, including reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-2917 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kit, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-2917 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-2917 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-2917 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
It's official. Last year was the warmest on record for our planet since record keeping began back in 1880. And joining us to talk about the findings released today by NASA and NOAA is Michael Oppenheimer, a professor of geosciences and international affairs at Princeton. Dr. Oppenheimer, a pleasure to have you with us here today.
Glad to be here.
Well, what is the most stunning thing you saw in this report today?
It it's interesting that in a year when there's no El Nino blowing, that's the weather pattern that usually makes the world a little bit warmer, that we just hit a record. The Earth's temperature had been warming, but at a more gradual pace than previously over the last decade or so. And this record pushed us really to a new high, which I'm sure makes everyone understand that we're in the middle of a long-term global warming trend. This is just the latest sign.
So one would expect that sea level will continue to rise, and that'll have a great impact on coastal cities, one would imagine.
Whether or not this were a record hot year, sea level would continue to rise. You have to understand that global temperature wavers a little bit. It wavers up, it wavers down from year to year, but that sort of underneath those squiggles is a long-term trend pointing upward. So whether any one year is a record or not, a little below or a little above the previous year, on the whole, the temperature has been increasing. That means, on the whole, sea level is increasing. That means, on the whole, climate is changing nearly everywhere on Earth, and will continue to do so until we limit the emissions of the greenhouse gases.
Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Oppenheimer. We appreciate it here.
Well, where there's a beach, there's salt water, and that can mean trouble in paradise. Researchers say rising ocean water linked with climate change threatens South Florida's drinking water. Ana Rindis Rodriguez has the story.
You've seen the images of flooded streets in Miami. Rising ocean waters linked to climate change not only overwhelming storm drains, but also pushing salt water into Florida's freshwater wells, tainting your drinking water.
Everything we rely on for water, which is everything, is compromised by saltwater intrusion.
Biscayne Aquifer supplies 90% of South Florida's fresh water, used for drinking and agriculture. Water from the aquifer flows naturally into the freshwater wells that are deep beneath hundreds of canals like this one. Many of the canals are harnessed by flood control structures like this, built to keep ocean water out of freshwater wells. But a growing population in the region is driving up the demand for water, and barriers like these are getting overrun.
Think about it. Where's the salt water going to go? So it goes into the canals and drainage systems that we put into place to take out rainwater and hurricane water and flood waters when that happens.
That's where Dr. Jayantha Obesekera comes in. His state agency monitors saltwater intrusion. He says the state's flat, porous limestone is the main gateway, allowing the saltwater to push inland.
So this rock formation doesn't prevent that water or slow down that water because it's very porous like Swiss cheese. We'll go faster through that this rock formation towards the well.
And contaminate fresh water. The red line on this USGS map runs across 13 coastal communities where salt water has been found in the freshwater supply.
It's a very difficult problem, and when these systems were built, they weren't built with the tolerances that we probably need now, knowing that climate is changing.
And it's a trend that is raising concern. And so is this.
Another blast of snow, perhaps, just in time for the holiday weekend. What will fuel it? And where in the Northeast will you struggle with snow? Just a cold, cold rain.
Then, the danger beneath the waves, where shark attacks and sightings have closed beaches.
Let's give you a live look at Washington, D.C. right now, and we are seeing beautiful conditions there, clear skies overhead, but that will change. We've got some rain coming in for you, Washington and Baltimore, Sunday and into Monday. Cold rain. We're back right after the break. See you in a moment.
Zantac heartburn alert. Stop. Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Introducing the Citi Double Cash Card. It's a cashback win-win. With 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn on purchases, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
I have a cold with terrible chest congestion. I better take something.
Theraflu Severe Cold doesn't treat chest congestion.
Really?
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Day Powder rushes relief to your worst cold symptoms plus chest congestion.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Currently in our area, 67 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 57. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a rain shower. Low 60. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Here, kitty. Here, kitty. Oh, just come snuggles with Mama.
Missing something? Like the BOGO event at Sears Optical. Right now, buy any pair of glasses and get a second pair free. Sears Optical. Don't miss a thing.
Can I have my squirrel? Grandpa Bodie, Grandma said you used to be out of control.
Really? I guess I did take some risks. I trained a little bit differently. I was a little too honest sometimes. The media is useless.
You were out of control.
But not always.
Thank you for being a sailor and my daddy. Thank you, Mom, for protecting my future.
Thank you for being my hero and my dad.
Military families are thankful for many things. The legacy of USAA Auto Insurance could be one of them. Our world-class service earned USAA the top spot in a study of the most recommended large companies in America. If you're current or former military or their family, see if you're eligible to get an auto insurance quote.
This new year, imagine yourself with skin so clear and beautiful, you feel confident to go after all the things you want. New relationship, dream job, good times with friends. Sound like a good year? Then start now with Proactiv Plus, our revolutionary acne treatment that can fix your skin.
That's a huge difference. Look at that. Proactiv Plus makes me feel amazingly beautiful.
Proactiv Plus is dermatologist developed to help seek out and fix problem areas on your skin. And it's proven to work 4 times faster than the leading prescription. So if you want results, count on it.
This product is doing it. I started seeing results with Proactiv Plus within the first week.
This new year, fix your skin. Order Proactiv Plus for only $29.95 and we'll rush you 3 free gifts. Results guaranteed or your money back. Plus, shipping is free. Go to Pro.
You want to sell your luxury home, but first, you've got to pick the right realtor. One who understands advertising, the kind that really gets your property noticed. I'm Vince Marotta, and we pride ourselves on connecting buyers and sellers through ads across a multimedia approach on TV, billboards, newspapers, magazines, the web, and more. My clients often tell me, Vince, I see your ads everywhere.
Now that's the kind of message that gets results. Your journey begins at MarottaRealty.com.
If you want a front row seat to your favorite NBA team all season long, NBA League Pass on Xfinity from Comcast has you covered. With up to 40 out-of-market games a week, you can follow your favorite team no matter where you live. Plus, you can watch the action on any device, including your tablet, laptop, and smartphone. Order NBA League Pass right now and save with 4 easy payments of $42.25. Call 1-800-XFINITY or go online.
Every
everything home, all in one place. Shop today's sales at wayfair.com.
Look at this! Listen to that!
See this winter like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
We're live in the lab with another round with storm specialist Carl Parker. And Carl, the sun is going down in the east, but still it's clear enough to see something very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been watching these mountain wave clouds today, and just a beautiful view, and I'm sure it's beautiful if you're on the ground there in southeast PA. And we're losing the light on the visible picture, so we've got another view. We actually captured the visible images from the middle of the day today, and you notice these lines of clouds that correspond very nicely with the Appalachian Mountains there. So what's happening is you've got air flowing over the mountains, it's lifted by the mountains, but you've got a stable environment. If the environment were unstable, which is to say that air would be inclined to keep rising, once it started rising, it would keep rising. But because it's more stable and the air wants to sink, it rises and then the stability takes over and it sinks. Yes, like exactly right. So it goes up over the mountain, then sinks again, up over the mountain, sinks again, and keeps going like that. And in fact, that rippling takes place long after those clouds leave the mountains, and you see those lines continuing to drive down right down here towards the Susquehanna River and Baltimore and Maryland. I'm sure some of that showed up around Montgomery County today. Just a beautiful, beautiful sight with that flow, that northwesterly flow that's coming right across the mountains there.
So we have these, but we also have these lake effect snow bands that appear to be perpendicular to these.
Yes, right.
Are these below the wave clouds?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think the wave clouds are, you know, fairly low, most likely, but these little bands right here are probably somewhere around 10, 15,000 feet, something like that.
And this is in association with the cold air just blowing into the northeast.
Very strong winds, a more stable environment. That's when you tend to see this kind of thing. And you can see this across a lot of the west as well. And speaking of the west, here we've got the visible picture. We're not really losing as much light, of course. It's later out there. And there you see the cyclone that's spinning up in northern parts of Montana and the southern part of Canada, and along with that we are getting some snow now around the Wind River Range and the Tetons and right down into the Wasatch, and that is the storm that is going to figure into our forecast this weekend.
Now that's a big wind maker in the west now.
Yes.
With snow in the Rockies. How will it impact our weather here by Sunday and Monday?
So we're going to watch this low pressure come over into southern Canada. There's the low. Yeah, that's indicated by the red shading right there, and these are lines of equal pressure where you see more of them. You've got a deeper, a stronger area of low pressure, and with a stronger area of low pressure you get more of everything, more wind, more rain, more snow. And so this low is going to transfer energy to a coastal low. We call that secondary development. That's a fairly common thing when conditions are right, and there you see the low pressure starting to get going around Long Island on Sunday, where, by the way, the rain could be pretty heavy, we think, late on Sunday. Then that low comes up here across the interior of New England and will strengthen, and it's going to be a pretty strong storm by the time it gets up there to Nova Scotia and the Maritimes, but there's not going to be a tremendous amount of cold air available for the system, so it's mostly going to be a rainstorm. We start to see a little snow on the backside there in the Adirondacks come Sunday evening, more of that growing into very late Sunday and then overnight, and then early in the day on King Day we've got the snow coming down in earnest with the low getting stronger there around the Green Mountains and a little bit on the underside coming through Hartford and Springfield and Worcester and maybe even Boston.
But the track of this really is critical.
Absolutely.
And we will update that as we head through the weekend.
We will indeed.
Carl, thank you so much. Alex, back to you in the studio.
All right, so it's winter in our half of the hemisphere, but in the southern half of the world, it's summertime. And right now in summer, there's a big threat beneath the big waves along one beach in southeastern Australia. A shark attacked a teenage spearfisher at Mollymoke Beach, about 140 miles south of Sydney. Now, the teens were recovering from a bite to the hand, and beaches at the Australian city of Newcastle have been closed for a week after at least 2 large sharks were spotted in waters there along the coast. Lifeguards are working long shifts to warn visitors to stay out of the water. All right, also tonight ahead on Weather Center Live, this place will be rocking Sunday as the Seahawks host the Packers. But you better save a seat for Mother Nature because she will be there in earnest as well. The forecast for the games and the holiday weekend next.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under partly cloudy skies. tonight, partly cloudy, low 57. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower, low 60. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
NASA and NOAA have made it official. 2014 was the hottest year on record, and it's fueling extreme weather globally. Their report released just a few hours ago.
But there is nothing warm about the forecast along the East Coast this weekend. We've got a storm on the way to tell you about.
So what does it mean for the NFL playoffs? Both games have weather impacts on Sunday. We'll discuss now on Weather Center Live. And welcome to Weather Center Live. I'm Dave Schwartz. Pleasure to have you along. Alexandra Steele, my partner.
Hi, everyone. We're glad you're here on this Friday. I like when there's weather during big games because they make it exciting to watch. You know, we have everything you need to know about this holiday weekend, and we are starting it off in the Northeast. So let's take you to Boston, of course, near where the big game will be on Sunday. All right, right now it's sunny and cold and in the 30s, but a change is on the way, Dave, that could make the game on Sunday really impactful with a lot of rain heading in, huh?
That's right, Alex. Yeah, it's cold in Boston. You're absolutely right. That's the Charles River. It's frozen over. And there's a storm in Montana. What do those two things have to do with each other? Well, everything moves from west to east, right? And this one in Montana and parts of southern Saskatchewan will be crossing the United States. That will have an impact on us on the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic, all the way into New England late in the weekend. So here we go. Here's the Saturday position of that storm. Tomorrow, over Nebraska, no weather there. It's dry. Then the storm hits the East Coast, and all of a sudden, you got winds blowing across the Atlantic Ocean. The Gulf Stream. Well, some of the moisture evaporates into that air and is sent right into the Northeast. Will it be enough to overcome this cold air that we've got coming in right now? At this point, we think yes. So Boston, Providence, New Haven, Long Island, New York City, Atlantic City. We may start off with a little sleet or snow on the front edge of this, but then it should turn all over to rain. The real cold air, the next shot of cold air behind this front, but this and that ain't gonna meet. So we're expecting the heavy rain where you see green, a mix up here in far upstate New York. Back here, it's light snow, Appalachians. Alex.
All right, it is to New York we go. We've got right now pretty pleasant conditions out there, but we are certainly going to see things change as we head into the weekend. Tonight, tomorrow, dry skies, but here's what happens on Sunday. The rain moves in the morning. We're going to see it all through the day in New York, and then even into the evening, and then into Monday as well. Monday, it all clears out, but Boston as well, a wet go for you. Temperatures in the 40s and rain. So all the big cities seeing rain. Upstate New York, Western New York, not so. Syracuse, that's where this will be a snowmaker for you, Dave.
Okay, the Cuse. We'll see about that. Yeah. You know, there's snow in the forecast with this system, obviously, for some places. But on the whole, it's been a slow snow year. Last year at this point in Chicago, we'd had 34 inches of snow. This year, 10 inches of snow. So where is the snow? Let's check with our storm specialist, Carr Parker, in the lab.
Hey, Dave. Yeah, a number of cities have had well below average snowfall, and let's take a look at some of those. Indianapolis is one that really stands out. We've had just a little over 5 inches of snow there, and normally we see a foot of snow by this time of the year. In New York, we've had just a few inches, and normally we see 8.5. And in Boston, we typically would have seen 17 inches by now, and we've had 5.5. So not a lot of snow. Now, many of the storms over the last 6 weeks have run up through the interior part of the Northeast. That's important because that's allowed just enough warm Atlantic Ocean air to come in and change that precip over to rain there right along the 95 corridor where most of our major metros are. So when you look at the current snow depth, look at that. Goose eggs now. Boston, New York, D.C., and Indianapolis, 5 inches on the ground right now in Chicago. So here's the model forecast showing this next storm. Similarly, we've got a lot of Atlantic moisture. There is going to be some cold air getting involved with that low, but mostly it's going to be coming in after the moisture has moved by. So just a tiny little area where we get those two things together. Here is the high resolution model forecast showing you the heavy rain coming up and into Long Island late Sunday. Gets a lot heavier around Boston by 11:30, we think, on Sunday. The snow developing there, and then the snowstorm really getting going in earnest overnight and then into the morning on the King holiday, and then it will be winding down through the middle of the day, maybe just a little bit of light snow there in Worcester and Boston and Springfield before all is said and done. But for the most part, this is going to be a mountain affair in northern New England and in upstate parts of New York. Dave, over to you.
Thanks, Carl. Well, my friend, I guess you've heard planet Earth chalked up its hottest year on record last year. Well, this shows you the temperatures for each year since they've been keeping records. 1880. Each one of these dots indicates warmest year on record. Well, it just so turns out that 13 of the hottest years recorded since then have happened in just the last 15 years. What are the odds of that happening? Well, here are the odds. 1 in 27 million. Now, to put that in perspective, the odds of getting hit by lightning are 1 in 175,000. Your odds of getting bitten by a shark? Just 1 in 11.5 million. And your chances of hitting a $1 million Mega Millions jackpot in the lottery? 1 in 18.5 million. Better chances of those happening than what's happened in the last 15 years. 13 of the hottest years on record. Alex, back to you.
Well, there is a very good chance coming up on the show that when we come back, we'll talk about the Pacific Northwest and the wet weekend they are in for. We're going to tell you when the rain will start rolling in and how long it will stick around. Also, the forecast for the Emerald City, and we'll tell you if the Seahawks will have a home field advantage. See you in a minute.
So, you say men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Then how'd I get this?
Safe driving bonus check. Every 6 months without an accident, Allstate sends a check. Okay. Silence. Are you in good hands?
Your eyes really are unique.
In fact, they depend on a unique set of nutrients. That's why there's Ocuvite, to help protect your eye health.
As you age, your eyes can lose vital nutrients. Ocuvite helps replenish key eye nutrients. Ocuvite is a vitamin made just for your eyes from the eye care experts at Bausch & Lomb. Ocuvite has a unique formula that's just not found in any leading multivitamin.
Your eyes are unique.
So help protect your eye health with Ocuvite.
Guess what goes really well with eggs? Pillsbury Grand's biscuits make breakfast even better. Grand's biscuits make breakfast pop.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. They're simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-841-4513 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation. With a government-insured tax-free reverse mortgage from AAG, you always retain complete ownership of your home. Call 1-800-841-4513 to receive your free info kit today.
Severe weather can strike anywhere, so the Weather Channel encourages you to get prepared for a weather emergency today. And we're making it easy for everyone. Go to connectwithweather.com. Follow the easy step-by-step instructions and create your own emergency plan. Connect with weather. Know the elements. Make your plan.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 57. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower, low 60. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Ride on the most treacherous highway in the world to experience the high risk of heavy rescue. Highway Through Hell, Sundays at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Introducing Aleve PM, the PM pain reliever that dares to work all the way until the AM. New Aleve PM. It's the first to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour strength of Aleve for pain relief that can last all the way until morning. New Aleve PM for a better AM.
Why do you want to shop Walmart's new selection of stylish frames? Because you need a surprisingly low price to match that surprising new look.
Oh, sorry. My ringtone.
The new frames and new styles you want are at the Walmart Vision Center, starting at $58. Walmart.
I've joined 14 online dating sites.
14? Is one of them eHarmony?
I don't have time for all those eHarmony questions.
Beth, do you want fast or forever?
Stop waiting. Start communicating for free today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Blah, blah, insurance. Person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. 6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you get to a better state.
Maybe you've seen video like this from a plane from time to time, but this is fog. We're looking down on fog right over the San Francisco Bay. It's time-lapse view. Makes it look like the bridges are actually floating on a sea of clouds, doesn't it? And we've seen this many times in recent days because of a ridge of high pressure that was right on top of us, and it locked this cool air right over the ocean. Well, that thins out usually as the day wears on, and you see how thin it is. You don't have to go far up the hillside to break out into sunshine. Well, now we've got storms moving from west to east from the Pacific into the northwest and Northern California. That will tend to break up the fog, and the clouds overhead will also tend to diminish the radiational cooling that's needed to get that fog to develop. So here's our jet stream right down here pointing right toward Oregon. We've got a beautiful day now going after the low clouds broke up in Eugene and Corvallis. It's gorgeous. Portland too, Seattle, we're headed near a record high this afternoon. That's in the wake of yesterday's rainstorm. That's up here in Montana. Here comes our next storm. The rain will begin by right around sunrise tomorrow, last all day and into tomorrow night. Saturday is going to be a wet day here in the northwest. Here we have some rain and some mountain snows. This is actually breaking up, but the remnants of this storm in Montana and Wyoming and Idaho will end up making the rain and snowstorm in the northeast Sunday night. So the forecast, wet, wet, and wet, and windy too. Boy, it's been gusting out here in the plains, 50 miles an hour at Casper, Wyoming last hour. Seattle and Portland, rainy. Rain showers kind of tapering off on Sunday, but still a mostly cloudy day is the forecast. Monday looks actually a little bit better. Just a few showers left over west of the mountains and up there in the northern Rockies. Heavy rain, huh? Tillamook, Oregon, up to Astoria, and then right here in the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. So that's where the wettest weather is going to be in the whole country over the next 48 hours. Then the focus shifts east. Alex, back to you.
All right, well, we're staying with the West, so what impact will that rain have on the NFC Championship game? Well, Paul Goodlow's tracked the stats and how Green Bay and Seattle will handle the weather.
Well, the road to the Super Bowl this year will be a wet one for both championship games. Now, let's talk about the NFC Championship game in Seattle. Packers versus the Seahawks. It's a 3:05 Eastern Time kickoff at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. Let's bring the field up from the floor here. And let's talk about the forecast because, yeah, it's going to be a rainy one. I know, not a shocker. Rain in January in Seattle. Yeah, that is usual for this time of the year, and that is what we have for the championship game. This is a 12:05 local time, Pacific time kickoff here. And it's rain throughout the game here, which will impact the play. In fact, when you have rain, a wet surface slows the surface down, so perhaps a running game more important than a passing game. And also with that rain, it will definitely impact the passing game. It's going to be a little more difficult for the quarterback to throw a tight spiral in those wet conditions, and even harder for the receivers to see it when they have the rain coming down in their face. And also for the running backs, it's definitely a ground game, but also a slicker football, harder to hold on to, perhaps more fumbles because of the weather. Now, let's talk about what this means with the quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, well, he's played 5 games in his career in the rain, and look at his QB rating. Not bad, 122.9 points. Now, take a look at Russell Wilson. He's played 4 games in his very short career in the rain, and his QB rating, not bad, but lower than Rodgers, 103 there. So you think the advantage goes to Aaron Rodgers. I'd say for a healthy Aaron Rodgers, but he is not healthy. He has a leg injury, which will definitely limit his mobility on a wet field. And we all know how well Russell Wilson can throw it and run it. I think we flip it around. The advantage, because of the weather, definitely goes to Seattle. For this playoff game, I predict, based on the weather, that the Seahawks will win the NFC Championship game. Back to you.
There you have it.
You heard it there. Yeah. Right. We'll have to see how good he is. All right. Well, maybe you just need a break. If you're living in the southeast, the clouds and the rain, please.
We got our break. Look at that yellow ball in the sky. You don't recognize
that thing.
That is the sun.
Oh, hallelujah.
Well, who will see the sun throughout the holiday weekend? A lot of people want to know that.
All right. And we'll tell you coming up.
Plus, they may look cute in the...
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Simply type in a name and follow the Ancestry leaf far into your family's past. A past filled with stories that intrigue and inspire. And in doing so, reveal the one unique, improbable, and completely remarkable path that led to you. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
My name is Daniel. I have diabetic nerve pain. The pain felt like my feet were on fire. I had these very burning, needle-like sensations. I knew I needed to see a doctor. My doctor said, let's try Lyrica. Lyrica has helped relieve my pain.
It's known that diabetes damages nerves. Lyrica is FDA approved to treat diabetic nerve pain. Lyrica is not for everyone. It may cause serious allergic reactions or suicidal thoughts or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these: new or worsening depression or unusual changes in mood or behavior, or swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, changes in eyesight including blurry vision, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or skin sores from diabetes. Common side effects are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Those who have had a drug or alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
Having less pain, it's a great feeling.
Ask your doctor about Lyrica today. It's specific treatment for diabetic nerve pain.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with efficiency? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
That storm's a killer. We need to get out of here.
Someday, time is running out.
The pressure is building.
And storms are closing in.
This is a recipe for disaster.
We're going to get smashed in the head.
Will this risky...
Game Day First is first on Sundays, baby.
And Game Day Morning has exclusive interviews.
Game Day Highlights is all about the afternoon games.
And Game Day Final is last on to bring you analysis of all the games.
Camp out with NFL Game Day all Sunday long, only on NFL Network.
Brought to you locally by South Florida Ford. Go further. Online at southfloridaford.com.
How do
I spell heartburn relief. R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolaids starts working instantly, neutralizing 44% more acid than Tums. Rolaids.
That's how you spell relief.
And now spell relief with our most powerful antacid. Try great tasting Rolaids soft chews.
When you're diabetic, one of the important things about keeping yourself healthy is keeping your skin hydrated.
Gold Bond Diabetics Dry Skin Relief. 9 out of 10 saw noticeable improvement in just 1 hour. Dry skin is under control.
Gold Bond really works.
Take better care of her. Always.
Protect what matters. Get flood insurance.
Every Sunday, the Titans of weather bring the rain. Geek Out, Sundays at noon on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 57. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy, high 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower, low 60. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, can you hear it? Oh, is that spring feeling in the air? Not for many of you, right? You're saying, are you crazy? All right, it's the sounds of the waves and the beaches, and you know, really the key is if we take that camera angle and take it up to the sky, that's the story weather-wise. Here in the southeast, it's been 6 days we have not seen much of the sun. So that's why I'm showing you this visible satellite picture. It's really a snapshot from space looking down, and we've got clear skies and sunshine, so that certainly is newsworthy, isn't it? It's been very cold in the southeast, but places like Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky have not had any measurable snow all winter long, and that dates back to 1931. So historic in nature, albeit cold. They haven't had snow, and it's certainly been cold, but that will change. Especially this holiday weekend, we're going to watch temperatures warm up. Atlanta on Monday gets into 60s, 60 degrees. The last time Atlanta was at 60 was January 4th, but places like Dallas, Fort Worth, you're going to be at 65 on Monday. Dave, last time they had 65-degree temperatures was the day after Christmas. So it has been cold in the south, but certainly a little reprieve coming. How about that?
You're telling me. I'm telling you, it has been cold. Houston and Dallas, oh, look at this poor little guy. You know, Florida is the 3rd most populous state in the country, thanks to the people who live there and the warm weather and sunshine. But it isn't just the human populations on the rise. Hence, well, more bears are being spotted in urban areas. 4 people have been attacked just in the last 12 months. And now, residents are proposing a controversial method of population control of the bears. Kerry Sanders reports.
Part of the problem is right over my shoulder there, garbage cans. Hungry bears come out looking for food, especially this time of year because they think that they need to innately stock up on food because they're going to hibernate. But in Florida, it never really gets cold enough for the bears to actually hibernate. And now with so many bears coming into urban areas like this, the state believes the best solution may be to authorize a hunt.
He's got a bag of food.
What started as a novelty, black bears roaming through neighborhoods in Central Florida, has become a deadly threat, with more and more people being attacked.
He came in screaming. She said a bear attacked.
I saw this large bear charging at me. She opened her jaw and clamped down onto my head, and I could just hear her teeth marks going through my scalp.
Increasingly, folks in the bear zone now carry weapons to protect themselves, and with good reason. In the last year, there have been 4 bear attacks in Florida. So I'm out in this neighborhood, and we're just driving around, and sure enough, there's a bear walking right through somebody's yard. Part of the problem is that these bears actually trap some people in their home where they can't get out. Bear hunts in Florida were banned in the 1990s after years of urban development caused a severe decline in the bear population. Since then, state wildlife officials estimate the number of black bears in Florida has jumped from 1,300 in 1994 to more than 3,000 today. So now there's a move to make bear hunts legal again. Scott Plakin is a Florida legislator who lives in the bear zone. So this is the first captured bear? In just 2 days in his front yard, the state trapped 3 bears. He favors bear hunts.
When it comes down to a bear versus human conflict, which we now seen, and we've seen injuries and thank God no deaths, then it's people first, bears second.
But opponents say hunting bears is not the answer.
Will hunting solve the problem of the human-bear conflicts? No. They're separate issues. There's no published studies that show that.
Authorizing a hunt is somewhat complicated because in an urban area, how do you shoot a bear when people are walking around in neighborhoods like this? Until then, the authorities say perhaps the best thing to do is to carry around some bear mace that this should be able to take down, according to its instructions, take down a 600-pound black bear. In Longwood, Florida, Kerry Sanders, NBC News for the Weather Channel. Now back to you.
I'm not going to get close enough to a bear to spray mace on him. Sorry.
Winter weather would keep it away, though. That's for sure.
For most people, earning cash back ends here at the purchase. But there's a new card in town. Introducing the Citi Double Cash Card. It lets you earn cash back when you buy and again as you pay. That's cash back twice. It's cash back with a side of cash back. The Citi Double Cash Card, the only card that lets you earn cash back twice on every purchase, with 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
Thanks for the ride around Norfolk, and I just wanted to say Geico is proud to have served the military for over 75 years.
Roger that. Captain's waiting to give you a tour of the Wisconsin now.
Could have parked a little bit closer. It's going to be dark by the time I get there.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
Chances are you don't think much about the shingles on your roof, but it's important to know if they are Timberline shingles. Because if they crack, split, or tear, you could get money or replacement shingles from a class action settlement. Benefits will be available for the next 7 years and will depend on where your property is located, where the shingles were made, when your shingles were installed, the extent of damage to your roof, and other factors. Go to www.roofsettlement.com or call 1-866-759-6518 for more information.
If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis like me, and you're talking to your rheumatologist about a biologic, this is Humira. This is Humira helping to relieve my pain and protect my joints from further damage. This is Humira giving me new perspective. Doctors have been prescribing Humira for 10 years. Humira works for many adults. It targets and helps to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Talk to your doctor and visit Humira.com. This is Humira at work.
My lenses have a sunset mode, and an early morning mode, and a partly sunny mode, and an outside to clear inside mode.
Transition's signature adaptive lenses are more responsive than ever. So why settle for a lens with just one mode? Experience life well lit. Upgrade your lenses to Transitions Signature. Receiving a Transitions Lenses Certificate of Authenticity is your only guarantee that you're getting the world's #1 recommended photochromic lens. Ask for it and register your lenses online today.
That storm's a killer. We need to get out of here.
Sunday, time is running out.
The pressure is building.
And storms are closing in.
This is a recipe for disaster.
We're going to get smashed in the head.
Will this risky dig be the season's biggest mistake? Prospectors, new episode Sunday at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 57. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy, high 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower, low 60. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Ride on the most treacherous highway in the world to experience the high risk of heavy rescue. Highway Through Hell, Sundays at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Barometric pressure is rising fast here in New York City, and the temperature is falling fast. The last bits of sunlight out there over North Jersey right now. It is in the 30s. We're headed way down tonight. Tomorrow will be cold, and a storm is on the way late in the weekend. We'll have details on that.
And welcome back to Weather Center Live on this Friday. We're glad you could spend some time with us. Long holiday weekend ahead, and it's the evening for some of you, so kind of wrapping things up for the week, right? I'm Alexandra Steele alongside Dave Schwartz.
Yeah, and boy, is it wonderful outside in Van Nuys, California. Yeah. 75 degrees.
Oh, that's better than the 7 in Albany.
You got that right. That's the wind chill right now in Albany. You've seen snow squalls this week. This is some video from Luigi Meccariello, and we thank him for that. But later this weekend, something else might be falling from the sky here in Albany. It'll be a close call. Rain or snow. Here's Alex with a look at the forecast.
Rain or snow, who's to know, right? We are. So let's show you what we've got in terms of the wet weather. Of course, it is, again, a rain-snow line, but it looks like the Northeast, especially the 95 corridor, will be a rainmaker. So right now, temperatures in the 20s, 30s, and then the 40s into the mid-Atlantic. As we head toward tomorrow, it's still pretty cold here in the Northeast. You can see 41 in New York, 37 in Albany, and we're going to watch the rain come in on Sunday into Monday, moves out for Monday, but Saturday's a dry day. Boston, here comes the rain. Again, rain for you into Sunday night. The long weekend, we're dry though, and temperatures do begin to warm up a bit. So here's the timing on this rain. Again, we've seen this time and time again. Storm comes up the coast, but it's the cold air and the moisture that are just not aligning. The moisture's here, the cold air is back there. By the time the moisture moves out, that's when the cold air gets in. So it's got two people that just can't get together. So Hartford, New York, Philadelphia, there's the rain for you. You can see what a washout it'll be on Sunday into Sunday night. Of course, the game in Foxborough. And then there's Monday, and then everything dries out. But then the cold air comes in. So, Dave, it's kind of like in the Northeast. We've seen it storm after storm. We're so low on snow because these two just kind of can't get together.
You know, many people are thrilled about that, Alexander. You know, the kid in me, of course, wants the snow. And speaking of the kid in me, how about a nice long weekend? Thanks to our celebration of one of the greatest Americans ever, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Day coming up on Monday. And I'll tell you, the weather across much of the country will be mild. It's getting warmer now. It's going to stay that way. Certainly here in the Deep South. Look at your high temperatures Saturday, Sunday, and Monday under mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will be right there. Selma, Alabama, Scottsboro, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia. cities where the Reverend Martin Luther King helped to make history. Memphis, 60 degrees on Martin Luther King Day, partly sunny skies. Here in Texas, the sun's been out now for a couple of days. What a pleasure. And the storms are going to go up and over the top. So we're going to stay in mostly to partly sunny skies. Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado. Temperatures here also at or above average right through the weekend. The Riverwalk in San Antonio looks great Sunday or Monday. Then we head into Arizona. Look at that color, huh? That indicates high temperatures in the 70s. We're there now in Phoenix. We're going to be 74 tomorrow. And then on Sunday, warmer still. Los Angeles also in the 70s. San Francisco, that's above average. Salt Lake City and Denver, also above average temperatures right through Monday. So the ridge builds in the west. And across much of the country, it's going to be mild, even 41 in Salt Lake City. Here's where the snow is on the ground right now. Temperatures will be a little colder on that snowpack. South of there, St. Louis and Cincinnati in the 50s. Saturday and Sunday, 40s for Cincinnati as the next batch of cold air comes southward. But even for us, Cincinnati will take it compared to what we've had these first couple of weeks of 2015. Alex, back to you.
All right, well, Dave, this is the weekend of the big AFC and NFC championship games, of course. Paul Goodlow's tracked the stats and shows us how the Colts and the Patriots will handle the weather for their big matchups.
We got the AFC Championship game Sunday evening at 6:40 in Foxborough at Gillette Stadium. Let's take a look at the forecast here. We got the Colts, who actually beat the Denver Broncos last week in an upset, taking on the favorite in hometown New England Patriots. Look at the forecast here. Might have some snow in the morning, but for the rest of the evening, we got rain coming in. And the longer the evening lasts, the heavier the rain will be. So definitely weather is a huge factor in this game. Let's take a look at how these quarterbacks deal in the rain. And Andrew Luck, in his very short career, he's played several games in the rain. 83 is his QB rating outside. Not bad for a home team that plays indoors. He does pretty well outside in elements. Meanwhile, Tom Brady, well, not too far off of Andrew Luck, but this veteran, not too great in the rain, 73.4. In fact, if there's any condition that impacts Tom Brady the most, it is rain, and that is in our forecast. But I wouldn't say it's an overwhelming advantage, but I definitely have to give Andrew Luck and the Colts the advantage on that, a slight advantage there. Now, take a look at the team stats. As you take a look at the last 2 years here, seasons, the Colts are 0-2 when playing in the rain. Meanwhile, the hometown Patriots, they are 2-0 when playing in the rain. So based on the team stats, and even the QB stats are pretty close, I think, because of the weather conditions and the forecast for the rain increasing throughout the evening in Foxborough. I'm actually picking the New England Patriots to win this game and move on to Super Bowl 49. Back to you.
And there we have it. You know, you don't think of tropical weather in December, hurricanes and things. Wow. But believe it or not, there are 3 impressive storms churning right now.
All right, and let's go to our storm specialist, Carl Parker, for a look at what we're checking out. Hi.
Hey, Alex, tropical weather is for the most part a warm season phenomenon. Of course, the Atlantic hurricane season goes from June until November, but we can get typhoons, which are the equivalent of hurricanes, all year long in the Western Pacific. That's because there is a huge repository of very warm water in the Western Pacific, and there is enough warm and humid air sitting over that warm water to fuel tropical systems, even though the sun is a lot lower in the sky. And there is one right now that is coming into the Philippines. Here is the latest on Typhoon Mekhala. It's now got 75-mile-per-hour winds, so that's the equivalent of a Category 1 hurricane. It's the exact same storm as a hurricane. They're just called different names in different parts of the world. And this storm taking aim on the central part of the Philippines. Now, I put Tacloban on here. You may recall that that was the town that was devastated by Typhoon Haiyan in November of 2013. Thousands of people killed, millions of people displaced by that storm. It was the strongest landfalling tropical system to make landfall in recorded history. And here you've got another very strong storm coming in, not nearly as strong as that, but certainly there's going to be gusty wind and heavy rain in areas where no doubt they continue to recover from that terrible storm a little more than a year ago. And then here, just off the coast of Africa are two more tropical systems, one coming into Madagascar. Notice how they are rotating in a clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. That's interesting. And then you've got another one right there. That is a typhoon as well. 125-mile-per-hour winds with Bansi, and then off to the west, this is a tropical storm with 60-mile-per-hour winds. I want to show you the satellite picture of Bansi taken on the 12th. Very, very well-defined storm. Had 150-mile-per-hour winds. That coming from the University of Wisconsin. It is going to stay out over the open water and will not have an impact on land. Dave, Alex, back to you.
Wow, the eye of that thing looks like something the USS Enterprise might have encountered on Star Trek, you know? Scary.
It is. All right. Coming up next, turns out 2014 was the hottest year on record.
Yeah, we'll show you the numbers just released by NASA and tell you what it means for us and the planet we all live on.
Currently in our area, 65 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 57. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy, high 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower, low 60. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I have the worst cold with this runny nose. I better take something.
Dayquil Cold and Flu doesn't treat your runny nose.
Seriously?
Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough fights your worst cold symptoms plus your runny nose.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Your eyes really are unique.
In fact, they depend on a unique set of nutrients. That's why there's Ocuvite, to help protect your eye health.
As you age, your eyes can lose vital nutrients. Ocuvite helps replenish key eye nutrients. Ocuvite is a vitamin made just for your eyes from the eye care experts at Bausch & Lomb. Ocuvite has a unique formula that's just not found in any leading multivitamin.
Your eyes are unique.
So help protect your eye health with Ocuvite.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
Hello, bit here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Hi, Mrs. Landers. Your eyeglasses are ready. You should notice a real difference with these. Oh, they are Nikon Eyes prescription eyeglass lenses. You get sharper, clearer vision. And unlike ordinary lenses, Nikon Eyes lenses resist scratches and reduce glare. Plus, Walmart offers a 12-month replacement guarantee. Break or damage them, and we repair or replace them at no charge. And we now have Nikon Eyes sun lenses, so you can enjoy Nikon Eyes sharpness and clarity outside. Ask about our second pair savings. Nikon Eyes lenses available at Walmart.
Guess what goes really well with eggs? Pillsbury Grand's Biscuits make breakfast even better. Grand's Biscuits make breakfast pop.
These scenes at a hospital in Central Africa may look like an emergency, but at Save the Children, we see this throughout the world every single day. Among the new arrivals is Kayembe. So frail, he can no longer stand. Kayembe is almost 2 years old, but his weight is less than half that of a healthy child his age.
5 grammes de malnutrition.
Kayembe is slowly dying. He needs food, and he needs medicine urgently. These are the basic things that you can help us provide by calling the number on your screen now and giving just $10 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. We know what it takes to save lives. It takes us, you, and as little as $10 a month. Save the Children is on the ground in the U.S. and all over the world, but we need your help to deliver life-saving medicine, medical care, clean water, and nutritious food to children in desperate need. For a child as critically ill as Kayembe, a single phone call can make the difference. Please pick up the phone now. For less than 35 cents a day, you can help us save a child's life. Call now and you'll receive this special Save the Children tote bag as a thank you for your support and a reminder of the difference you're making in children's lives. Every day, 19,000 children die from preventable causes. That's one child every 5 seconds. But it doesn't have to be this way. For just $10 a month, you can make a difference. Please, don't put this off. We need your help to get these children the critical medicine, food, and clean water they urgently need.
S'il n'y a pas assez de nourriture à donner aux enfants, les enfants vont mourir.
Call Save the Children now and help us save a child's life.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. Well, Southwest Airlines is facing record-setting fines for delaying passengers in Chicago during Winter Storm Hercules last winter. The Department of Transportation slapped the airline with a $1.6 million fine for not letting passengers get off planes during long delays. Passengers like Ralph Schilling were not happy.
They were totally unprepared. They're supposed to have contingency plans for an occasion like this. This bad weather, I understand that. There's going to be delays, I understand that. But be honest, you're supposed to have contingency plans for when this happens.
And 16 planes were stuck on the ground for at least 3 hours after landing at Chicago's Midway. Arriving flights had nowhere to go because of all the airline's gates were occupied by other aircraft. Southwest says it has made significant investments now to prevent recurrences of what had happened. Dave?
Well, where there's a beach, there's salt water. And oddly enough, that can mean trouble in paradise. Well, researchers say rising ocean water linked to climate change threatens South Florida's drinking water. Ana Ritis Rodriguez has that story.
You've seen the images of flooded streets in Miami. Rising ocean waters linked to climate change not only overwhelming storm drains, but also pushing salt water into Florida's freshwater wells, tainting your drinking water.
Everything we rely on for water, which is everything, is compromised by saltwater intrusion.
Biscayne Aquifer supplies 90% of South Florida's fresh water, used for drinking and agriculture. Water from the aquifer flows naturally into the freshwater wells that are deep beneath hundreds of canals like this one. Many of the canals are harnessed by flood control structures like this, built to keep ocean water out of freshwater wells. But a growing population in the region is driving up the demand for water, and barriers like these are getting overrun.
Think about it. Where's the salt water going to go? So it goes into the canals and drainage systems that we put into place to take out rainwater and hurricane water and flood waters when that happens.
That's where Dr. Jayantha Obesekera comes in. His state agency monitors saltwater intrusion. He says the state's flat, porous limestone is the main gateway, allowing the saltwater to push inland.
So this rock formation doesn't prevent that water or slow down that water because it's very porous like Swiss cheese. We'll go faster through that this rock formation towards the well.
And contaminate fresh water. The red line on this USGS map runs across 13 coastal communities where salt water has been found in the freshwater supply.
It's a very difficult problem, and when these systems were built, they weren't built with the tolerances that we probably need now, knowing that climate is changing.
And it's a trend that's raising concern.
And so is this.
You're right.
All right, let's show you. You know what? Another blast of snow just in time for the holiday weekend. What will fuel it, and where in the Northeast will you struggle with snow or just a cold, cold rain?
Ugh. Then the danger beneath the waves, where shark attacks and sightings have closed beaches.
But first, check out these temperature changes, Dave, in the Northeast tonight, just in the last couple of hours. Take a look.
That's right. We're in the 20s now. Boston, Hartford, 27. That cold air getting into New York City. Still 40 in Philadelphia. You're hanging on. But it's 32 in Reading. That cold air is on the way. Some of the wind chills, Alex.
Yeah, right now in Albany, there's a 30-mile-per-hour wind, making it feel like 7. It feels like 14 in Hartford, 2 in Syracuse, and 5 below in Binghamton.
People in Chicago were saying, "Jeez, I'm glad we don't have that." You know, it's mild back there for a change. 8 is the forecast low tomorrow night. Make that tomorrow morning in Boston. 16 New York, and below 0 in Binghamton and Burlington.
Ooh, 7 below waking up in Bangor, Maine.
Don't wait for awesome. Totino's Pizza Rolls get you there in just 60 seconds. Go bold with flavors that kick.
If you're running a business, LegalZoom has your back. Over the last 10 years, we've helped over 1 million business owners get started. Visit us today for legal help you can count on to start and run your business. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
Each year, 17 billion toilet paper tubes are thrown away. Enough to fill the Empire State Building twice. Toss the tube for good with Scott Naturals Tube Free.
Currently in our area, 65 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 57. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy, high 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower, low 60. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Would be fun. So I went on Ancestry.com, and this little leaf gave me a hint, and that led me to another leaf and another hint. I was like the family detective. Then I found out that one of my ancestors actually was a detective. So I'm like the other family detective.
Visit Ancestry.com and discover the world's largest online family history resource.
You don't have to know what you're looking for. You just have to start looking.
Your discovery starts right now on Ancestry.com.
Here, kitty. Here, cutie. Oh, this comes snuggles with Mama.
Missing something? Like the BOGO event at Sears Optical. Right now, buy any pair of glasses and get a second pair free. Sears Optical. Don't miss a thing.
Can I help Miss Girl?
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this.
Danger. Warning.
You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
Danger.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
I can do anything. My Tempur-Pedic made me fall in love with mornings again.
And I love how it conforms to my body.
On Tempur-Pedic, the whole bed is comfortable.
We actually got our bed as an engagement gift from her parents.
Maybe that's the secret to marriage.
You're going to stay together if you have a Tempur-Pedic bed.
I told her friends, this is the best investment I've ever made.
Replacing old drain lines used to mean tearing up floors and walls and digging a huge trench in your house, but not anymore. Now there's trenchless drain line repair. Our trenchless pipelining method creates a new permanent pipe inside the existing pipe. A liner saturated with epoxy is inserted into the pipe. A bladder is inflated until the epoxy hardens to form a new pipe inside the old pipe. It's removed and the pipe is ready for use, better than new. Need a drain line repair? Go trenchless. Call Quick Plumbers today.
Xfinity from Comcast gives you a front row seat to every team in the NHL. With NHL Center Ice, you can follow your favorite teams no matter where you live. You get up to 40 out-of-market games a week. And with the Sports app, only on X1, you can see all the live scores in real time and easily switch between close games. Order NHL Center Ice right now for just 4 easy payments of $24.99. Call 1-800-XFINITY or go online.
No obligation, and you can receive a decision in minutes. Visit us online at ondeck.com today.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
We're live in the lab. You know, there's a big storm headed for the Northeast, right? Yeah. Late this weekend. We'll get into that in just a second. But right now, cold air is just spilling southward. You know, it's gotten warmer in Chicago, warmer in Denver and Phoenix and Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah. But it's still getting colder here in the Northeast. They're not out of that cold flow yet.
Right. Northwesterly flow here coming right down and across the mountains. And we've been seeing these beautiful wave clouds today. These mountain wave clouds, they're gravity waves, and they linger well past the mountains, and they show up as these rows of clouds. And here's another look at this. This is the visible image from earlier today. And this happens when you've got a very strong wind and a stable atmosphere, because you've got up and down motion occurring. The air is flowing upward, up from the mountain, but then it comes back down because of the stability in the atmosphere, and that keeps going like that well past the point where you've got that mountain interfering with the flow there.
Let's just get our bearings here.
Yes.
These are the Appalachians right here. So we're a little turned around. North would be that way.
Yes.
Here's the District of Columbia.
Here's
right
the Mason-Dixon line right there.
Perfect.
There's D.C. Okay. There's Baltimore.
So the wind is coming out of the northwest, which would be top to bottom.
Yes.
And then perpendicular to that are those lines of clouds.
Right. So you've got a flow that's going up and down and up and down and up and down like that. And along those wave crests, that's where we're getting clouds. Right in there. And then where the air is sinking once again, the air warms, compresses, and it clears everything out. And that's how we get those lines of clouds like that.
And they also appear to be not moving. So if you were outside in Frederick, Maryland, you might see like a line of clouds here and another line there and another line there, right?
And it's
not moving.
Static.
It's like weird looking.
Yes, it's static because the waves are coming through and continuing to produce clouds in the very same areas.
So the air is moving.
Yes.
But that allows the clouds.
That pattern's in the same place. It is really fascinating. I love that. And beautiful view today. If you were anywhere near the Susquehanna River or in D.C., certainly northern parts of Maryland, and that's that northerly flow. Now we're going to turn our attention to what's going on in the west and getting the last few usable images on the visible satellite picture of this system that's coming in this weekend. Right in there. Now bringing some snow to parts of Idaho and Wyoming, right around the Wind River Range and the Tetons and down into the Wasatch. It's not a real strong storm, as you can see. It's sort of meager in terms of what it's producing right now. It's going to get a little snow in the higher elevations, but it's interesting because it will get stronger by the time we move into the weekend. So what we've got here is a depiction of low pressure.
So we just went from the east, about the cloud, to the west.
Yes.
And now back to the east.
Right. Because we're looking at the storm that was in the west.
Yeah.
And we're going back here to southern Canada.
Yeah.
That area of red right there is low pressure. And each of those lines is a line of equal pressure. And when we see more of them, we know that the low pressure is getting stronger. When low pressure is stronger, that means we get more of everything. We get more wind, more clouds, more rain, more snow.
So that's the western storm come east.
Exactly.
Is that right? Okay.
Exactly right. And that low that's in southern Canada is going to transfer energy to a coastal low. That That's called a secondary low that develops there. And that secondary low is then going to take over and get a lot stronger as it comes up into Maine and towards the Maritimes there, towards Nova Scotia and Halifax. So along with this, what we're going to get is mostly rain because there's not enough cold air for the system to use.
So you're telling me the cold air that's spilling into Boston, New York, and Philly right now,
yes,
is going to be scoured out by the time that storm gets here?
That's going to go away. There's going to be a warmer flow ahead of that. It's going to go away, and we're going to get a little cold air on the backside of the system, enough to produce snow in some parts of New England, which we'll talk about coming up at the top of the hour.
Another rainstorm for the East Coast.
That's right.
Thank you, Carl.
You got it.
Alexandra, back to you.
All right, so it's winter in our half of the hemisphere, but in the southern half, it is summer. And with that, certainly we have seen some big threats, and it is a threat beneath the big waves along one beach in southeastern Australia. A shark attacked a teenage spearfisher at Mollymook Beach. That's about 140 miles south of Sydney. The teen's recovering from a bite to the hand, and beaches at the Australian city of Newcastle have been closed all week after at least 2 large sharks were spotted there on the coast. Well, lifeguards are working long shifts now to warn visitors to stay out of the water. Well, up ahead on Weather Center Live, this place will be rocking Sunday as the Seahawks host the Packers. But you better save a seat for Mother Nature because she will be there, and in a big way. That forecast is coming up.
Currently in our area, 64 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 57. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour.